learned very quickly why they didn't do it for 2 generations because of the amount of work involved with it, but I was very proud to finish that before my term was over. From there, I went to Milwaukee County Board, where I was elected to the county board 2 years ago, and I'm running for re-election. And this is my 10th election, and I've won. And the nice thing about running for election, when you have nobody running against you, is you know you win. So you don't have a campaign on your hands, so it's kind of nice to take a break for a while. So it's my 10th campaign in North Shore in about 23 years. The district I represent now is the east side of Milwaukee, which is far more south than I've ever represented before. I go all the way down to the Art Museum and actually all the way down to the Harbor House restaurant is part of my district on that side, and I go all the way up through the east side of Milwaukee, through Shorewood again, which I have 100% Shorewood, and I have 75% Whitefish Bay up to the School Road sign right by Fox Point. So that's my district. The county issues are pretty different than the state issues, which I used to serve on. But county issues are have been very hot. And in fact, in the years that I've served on in the legislature, there are a few very big hot issues, but in terms of county government, Lake Park has been a very big issue for me. I've spent hours and hours of my time first starting on Pokemon. If I ever thought that Pokemon was part of my life, when I first ran for any government office, I would say that would be impossible. But Pokemon was absolutely hot. Pokemon, the crisis, and now it's over with, but still kind of going on. The problem with Pokemon was that Pokemon was this game that was created that took over Lake Park 2 summers ago. And one night in the middle of July, actually early July, people started playing their Pokemon game, and what turned into a few stragglers turned into tens and then hundreds and then thousands of people at night playing their game through the park and along Wall Street and along Terrace, and it became something that I've never seen. One night I said to I didn't even know what they were talking about. I got a phone call one night saying, "You've got to get down there. You're our supervisor. You got to see what the problem is, and you're ignoring your duties unless you see what's going on with Pokemon." I said, "All right, I'll be there." So I went down there with my wife, and the next thing I saw were hundreds of people playing on their iPhones and Google phones and Android phones, and they were walking around, and I thought it was a scene from The Walking Dead. It was The Walking Dead, but they were into their screens, and they bumped into each other, and they just bounced off. And lo and behold, I saw what the problem was, and when the county, all of a sudden, sheriff's deputy started blaring the sound with sirens on and the lights on, screaming, "You will be arrested if you don't clear the parks immediately." My wife is tugging, "We gotta run, we gotta get away from it. We're gonna be arrested." I go, "Wendy, we're not gonna be arrested." And I came up to the officer, the lieutenant who's up there, I introduced myself, I said, "Is this like this?" He says, "You've got to do something about this. We should not be spending our resources on county government enforcing Pokemon rules." And lo and behold, I saw what the problem was, and I spent hours dealing with it and addressing it, and we pretty much solved the problem. What's not solved is county government, Milwaukee County passed an ordinance that I helped write that addressed this issue and said that a company cannot come in and play a virtual reality game without having a permit process. They cannot, you have to pay for it. You have to do something. If you're using our parks, you're going to have to pay for our resources. And paying for our resources, what we were doing was we were actually paying for the security, we were paying for the cleanup, we were paying for the damages, our neighbors were being disrupted, people were going into their lawns, and there were no bathrooms around. So where did they go to the bathroom? Everywhere. And who paid for it? We did, as a county, and who did not pay for it? This company. So I wrote a law that basically said, this is wrong, you have to pay for it. I was immediately challenged in federal court, challenged it, and I was named this lawsuit. And basically, federal judge put an injunction against Milwaukee County, said you can't do it. But in the meantime, we cut a deal with Milwaukee County. Well, we cut a deal with this company and said we will not enforce it. We will keep the law, but you guys can't go into Lake Park. And they said fine. We'll have a few sites in hot spots in Lake Park, but we're not going to go in there. We'll be happy to. So it was done. It was a deal, but at the same time, we accepted that the federal judge said, if you want to do something else, here's the way to write it. And right now, the county board is trying to figure out, should we proceed in this lawsuit and really make a statement that says that government has the right to restrict virtual reality games, or should we not? But we were told point blank that this is a very hot situation, and that Washington, D.C., when we were actually receiving phone calls from Washington, D.C. lawyers and New York lawyers that said that this is a U.S. Supreme Court case, that we want to actually do it pro bono. We want to take this case on, because this could go to the U.S. Supreme Court and it could set the first national law on a national ruling on virtual reality. We were really trying to figure out if we want to do that, because if we do it, lots of resources are tied up, and or should we not, and we accept our victory. So this is an ongoing battle. What should we do as a county board? Should we go for the setting of national precedent for putting Milwaukee County on the map for Pokemon, or just move on? We got our win and just deal with it. So we're thinking about that. Yes.
Wasn't there some sort of a settlement regarding this?
The settlement was that they'll cut the number of hotspots to like a few, and they'll get on Lake Park, but we don't enact the lawsuit.
I know we paid them like $200,000 or something.
It was $87,000,
Oh.
and it was paid by our attorneys from what's called, our state of Wisconsin insurance company paid the fine. It was actually paid for their lawyer's fees. So it's ongoing, but there's a part of me that would like to push it, but at the same time, we have a win. And sometimes, why have a fight when you don't have to, when you have the win? When your neighbors are happy, we have a community that's satisfied with not having Pokemon people walk in, we should be happy. Another big hot spot is also right there. It's called the Lake Park Ravine Bridge. That Ravine Bridge is another big, big issue. And when you drive up Lincoln Memorial Drive to go to Shorewood, you see danger, closed road, and people who've walked that road before, who've driven that road before, it's really a unique spot at Milwaukee County. It's nature at its finest, very narrow road, and it's part of the Olmsted tradition. And what do we do about that bridge? And the bridge would cost about $2.7 million to repair it. Milwaukee County doesn't have the money. We just don't have money. I mean, it's a terrible situation. We don't have money for several reasons. And the pension fund, the pension scandal really cost us. And it set us back. It took place, it's now 15 years. We still talk about the pension because there's just no money. But the pension will actually be done actually in the year 2035. So we actually have 17 years. We have this pension bond, we actually have a mortgage to pay off this pension obligation. In the year 2035, our finances are going to get really good. But what do we do until that point? And how do we manage our money? Do we have money for the park? How much money do we put into parks? Do we have money to pay for this one bridge that doesn't carry transportation, that only takes care of pedestrians and bicyclists in a very small part of Lake Park, when we have other parks in Milwaukee County that have tremendous needs? They have no programming, no services, where they have nothing. And we have a bridge, as some members of my county board would say, a bridge to nowhere. Why should we be paying all those millions for that when we have up to $400 million of deferred maintenance for Milwaukee County Parks throughout? And what do we do with the domes? At the end of the day, we have a domes project that's somewhere between $20 million to $60 million, depending on how you spend the numbers and what you want. What do we do with the domes? Do we preserve the domes when we have no other money for other parks? With Washington Park and Lindsay Park on the north side, and all these parks, up and down, what do we do with no money? So Milwaukee County is facing, we have a financial problem, and it's a resource problem. It's also a decision and a priority problem. Where do we put our priorities? So I'm looking at the time. We have some other great speakers coming up, and my colleagues from the legislature, my former colleagues that are in the legislature are here. But it's been very, very challenging. I've enjoyed my time on Milwaukee County Board. It's time to mix it up. I also don't mind not being in the minority in the state legislature. Being a Democrat in the minority is not a pleasant experience. You sit there and you have great ideas and they're tossed out. I just read my former colleague Therese Purcell, who's there for 20 years. She's in the paper, quoted as I'm out of here, basically. I left there, but I am in the majority. But when you're in the majority of a group of people that don't have money, You have power, you can do some things, but it's always where do you get the money? And the state government's in a better spot. So that's kind of a synopsis of who I am, what I'm facing, and really open us up for questions. Yeah.
I have a question about the Lake Park Bridge. I heard a rumor that a private citizen had offered to pay for the bridge, and like the road was going to be restricted to pedestrians and bicycles, and the county couldn't or wouldn't do that. Is that actually true?
Well, here's an interesting, thanks for bringing it up. The other thing we can talk about is pay for parking along Lake Front. We'll talk about that too. Here's what the situation was. The park, the bridge is falling apart. It's 111 years old. It's collapsing. At one point it will collapse. It's a 100-year-old bridge. The question is when. And what Milwaukee County went through with the loss of that 15-year-old who went to Summerfest with his family and part of that parking garage fell and killed him, is really scares any government, and let alone scares Milwaukee County. So people say that the bridge is good, but Milwaukee County says, no, we're not going to deal with this, it's going to fall apart, and we have engineering studies that say it really is collapsing. So the road underneath it is right underneath it. We're afraid the bridge is going to collapse at certain points, so let's just shut it down. So it's been shutting down for a while, and a citizen came to me, and this is a question that I'll actually ask you for hands later on, because I'm kind of curious to know what you would do. A citizen came to me and said, how much is this bridge? And one other thing I will say, there was a community group that said, we want the bridge as is, that it can't be restored, we want it taken down, and we want it rebuilt in exactly the same shape. We want exactly the same bridge, with new materials, but looking the same. That project is a $2.6 million project to rebuild it exactly as it is. Man comes forward, he says, I'll give you $1 million. Here's $1 million cash. I'll give you the bridge as is, but I want that road shut down for automobile traffic. Pedestrian traffic, fine, but I want that road shut down. So here's $1 million. Another guy comes forward, I got $500,000. I'll give you $500,000. Shut that bridge down. I want the road shut down. Oh, well, let's get the bridge. Another man, here's $100,000. Guess what? I then raised $1 million from loan money inside the county. You know, this is where the politics get nasty, but when you want something done and you're in government, sometimes you have to vote certain ways. And certain ways, sometimes you don't want to do it, but you have a community and you have that needs something done. So I had to work my angles to raise $1 million through a series of votes on a project that I probably wouldn't have voted for, but I wanted my community to have this bridge. So I raised $1 million from the county board. So now I got $1 million and 1.6, $2.6 million project done. I thought everything was perfect. All of a sudden, I actually then had a community meeting. Had everybody come together. 120 people showed up in Lake Park, below Lake Park, in Lake Park Pavilion, and 109 people said, take the deal, we got it. 11 people said no. The 11 people who said no run Lake Park Friends. And Lake Park Friends was furious. They were furious. I got attacked as, how dare I take money from millionaires to do bridges, that's terrible, you're wrong, you need to you have to keep the road as is, and that Olmsted wants the road as is. And that anything with Frederick Olmsted wants the project as is, you're a terrible person for taking the money. Other people said take the money. Bottom line is, we stopped the project. Another man came forward and said, I'll give you $1 million. This is the east side of Warren. I'll give you $1 million, but I want the road open. Well, all right, we'll take the $1 million. We'll take your $1 million. Well, then the original millionaire who wanted $1 million got furious at the other millionaire. And he is neighbors with this millionaire. One knows the other one, but the other one doesn't know the other one. So the original millionaire is furious. He's pissed at his former friend around the corner. I can't say anything more because it's anonymous. So I got fights between millionaires. The $500,000, and then the second millionaire said, I don't want to give a full $1 million. I'll give you $500,000 and have you get a grant if you raise another $500,000. Well, then the other
That's not a million, that's a
$500,000,
half a million.
the other $500,000 man got angry because he said, I don't want anything done, I don't care about the roads underneath, but all I care about, I want a remodeling of the bridge. I want to keep the bridge as is. So I don't want it torn down, I want the original bridge, and I want $500,000 back. And the $100,000 donor who I originally had is so fed up with the whole situation, he walks. He says, I'm not giving my money at all. So now I'm left with a situation where I have millionaires fighting it out. I've lost my $1.6 million project. I have Lake Park Friends who is very irritated about the whole situation, who wants to have another project. So where we are right now is Lake Park Friends is raising $20,000. The county is going to give $20,000, and we're going to do a concrete study to look at the bridge in a new way to see if we could potentially reuse parts of the bridge to maintain it for $1 million and get 30 years worth of service and go that route, or we go the second route, which was going to be announced in the newspaper tomorrow, where a grant, where we as a county are asking for a grant from the state of Wisconsin for $2 million for this bridge, and there's a good chance we might get 1.6 million of the 2 million project. But that's pending a full grant application process, and I'm a little concerned because it's Lake Park, and we don't have a Republican in office representing this area, which is also problematic. But at the same time, certain